Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. This is a long video series, but I think it's going to change your life, okay? Get some water here. All right, so let's talk about looks. I've had quite a few women challenge me over the years and say, oh, no, Michael, looks is much more important than you think to women. And then I do this. 100% of the women. I've been challenged hundreds of times. And let me know if you agree with this, lady. So a lot of guys, no, so here's the deal. Men truly believe it's about looks because the male mating system is connected to his optic nerve, which connects to his eyes. So for men, it's all about looks. Ooh, she's pretty, she's hot, she's sexy. Ooh, that's why we would rather watch a porno, a video, or a magazine, like a Playboy magazine, because it's visual. Remember, the mating system is connected to the optic nerve, which connects to our eye. That's why we are visually stimulated. Okay? All right. So here's the deal. The reason why the male mating system is connected to the optic nerve, which connects to the eyes, is because Mother Nature wanted to make sure that we looked at a woman's body to make sure that she's not dying of cancer, her hair's not falling on clumps, she's, so is skinny to where she might die. And here's why. Because the baby is going to be in the female's body's womb. So the child is going to grow inside her womb for 9 months. Now, I'm not saying men are walking around going, I got to make sure she's got a healthy body because the baby's going to be inside her for 9 months. This is not a logical experience. All he knows is, she's freaking hot, right? And it's an unconscious thing. We get triggered and we're turned on. So we're just trying to make sure that the body is healthy. Like, for example, when I was in high school, there was this girl that it's kind of a weird situation because she had already graduated, but she came back on campus and people were like, what is she doing here? It was kind of weird. And she waited outside a choir for me one day and it really freaked me out. And I was walked by and she was, hey, and she even said my name. I'm like, do I know you? She's, oh, well, my name's so-and-so. I'm like, yeah. Well, long story short is her fingernails were yellow. And I remember looking at it, and they were like curved, kind of like round, and it was not normal. I go, what's wrong with the fingernails? She said, oh, nothing, just my doctor said I've got a situation. Well, I had found out about a year later she was dying of cancer. All right. So I remember just instantly being turned off, and I thought it was weird because she was actually a good-looking girl. And that's the thing, is because she was dying. And if I would have got her pregnant, the baby obviously wouldn't have survived. Okay, does that make sense? So Mother Nature has a higher purpose. It's not just because men are jerks. Well, this is one of those situations. Most women go, oh, it's not about looks. It's about what's inside. Yes, for you. Why is this? Because remember, the right brain is the internal brain. It's about your emotions and your feelings, your values inside. Whereas with men, that's not what it's about. It's about this external thing, about how you look. Okay, I don't go farther, but about looks, it's external for men, it's internal for women. Okay, so the female mating system is doing this, and this is the grand mastery of the course. Okay, for men especially, and you women get all the rewards. So when a man learns how to be internal, which is a core, there's like 3 major core pieces, and one of the main ones, and without this you're screwed. I can teach you the other stuff and it won't work. For men, I mean. When you learn how to drop your awareness inside and tune into your body, it's like you just connected to your radar system, and now your radar system is on. It makes you highly intuitive. You can read between the lines. Suddenly you know when someone's lying to you. And you begin to communicate what's called the bigger picture language. You start to literally, what happens is your vision, because most men, the left brain is like looking down a microscope, down a shiny tube, even more narrower than that, right? And so you don't have awareness when you have that, and that turns a woman off. When you learn how to expand out, not just your vision, but your audio and your auditory and your kinesthetics, you expand that out. I teach that in the course, okay? All of a sudden she relaxes around you because she feels comfortable, because now she feels safe, because you have an awareness that's going all the way around you, okay? Not just straight front. One thing I'll say to women is, like, you ever notice how men are like race horses? Like, well, what do you mean? Like, if they have blinders on, like, oh yeah, it's like they can only see what's right in front. The problem with that, guys, is you can be manipulated by anyone. If a woman can manipulate you, that means, this is why women test men. There is a real reason why women are testing men. They can't help it. I've talked to women who are in their 40s and 50s. I just can't. It's like I can't help it. It is an unconscious Mother Nature hardwiring into women, because she's making sure that you're aware. Because if you're not aware, that means she's in danger. That means you guys are not safe. Okay? I might go into that later, but this video really wasn't supposed to be about that. The point being is, when a man learns how to be internal, so why is this important to the female's mating system? When a man crosses over to the right brain and begins to process in the right brain processor, her mating system gets triggered automatically. She can't deny it. She can't stop it. She can't help it. When you begin to speak what's called the mentally stimulating and emotionally fulfilling language, the internal language, there's a list of words that I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to teach you how to process them in the right brain way. She will go bonkers over you. She will go freaking nuts. She can't help it. It triggers her mating system. Now, I already know the little bit of words that I've said in this video and the last video. A lot of women are like, yeah, keep going, please keep going. And that's what they'll do. They will literally look at you and get really quiet and you'll stop me. Am I saying something wrong? No, please. I like this. Keep going. The first time a woman did that to me, I was like, wow, this stuff is powerful. I had no idea. So now I'm going to wrap this up with this. So the male mating system truly believes it's about looks. That's why we get our haircut. That's why we get our nice clothes on. We do all that stuff, right? Get our car washed and waxed. We take you to a nice, visually attractive, expensive restaurant, and on and on and on. It's all about looks. Because for men, it is about looks, because that's what triggers his mating system and attracts him to you and turns you on. Ladies, this is why you put your makeup on and your earrings and you flip your hair and you wiggle your butt and you want to know what it's like? It's like a fish lure. It's like when you go fishing. Men know that. It's got to be shiny. It's got to have spinner things. It's got to have little flippy things and little like tails and stuff. So when you zzz and you begin it spins, and there's a lot of reflective light things. When the sun hits it, it reflects light. Because fish are just like men. They see right in front, and in order to get their attention, something over here has got to really do that. And he locks on, he goes after it, just like a fish. Now, I've said this to many women over there, and they start laughing. Oh, that's true. You've got to get his attention. You got to flip your hair. You got to move around. You got to flip your hands about, and you got to twizzle. And then men, they lock on just like the fish. They launch like a missile. They go right after it, just like this, right? So a lot of women have experienced this. They're like, yeah, that's true. Okay, so watch this. So his mating system gets triggered by visual, by looks. So he believes that's the way you are. Your mating system is connected to your right brain. Now watch this. I'm going to save the story for last, okay? Yeah, I'm going to do that for last. That's a good story. So there's a difference in when a woman looks at a man. It's not about his external looks. It's about the internal looks. You're like, what do you mean, Mike? When you're when you're in your left brain, everything is square. Versus asymmetrical is when one shoulder drops, right? That's asymmetrical. The left, that's right brain. The left brain, everything's symmetrical. It's like geometry class, squares, triangles, rectangles, everything is perfect. Octagons, everything has a perfect dimension. Whereas the right brain, so the left brain's about squares and triangles and angles. The right brain is about round, circular, curves and stuff like that. That's why a woman's body is more curvy, okay? So when you're in your right brain, here's what happens. Your blood vessels loosen up, your muscles loosen up, and that allows blood to flow up into your skin. And what it does, it'll fill up your lips and it'll fill up the skin around your face, and it softens. Instead of when you're in your left brain, everything's, even when you walk, it's mechanical. Hey, what's up, man? Even when you shake, you do a lot of pointing. It's really obvious when a guy's in his left brain because your pupils get really small, like needles, like eye of the needle. right? The pupils get really, really small, and you're laser beaming at the girl, and they don't like this, guys, at all, and it really turns them off. So when a woman's looking at a man, when a man is in his right brain and he's speaking more in circular ways versus pointing, because pointing is a turn off big time, dudes, because it closes her brain up, which means you put her in her left brain, which means she disconnected from her right brain. Now she's turned off. You just put yourself in the friends box, okay? So when women are attracted to a man visually, it means the way he moves. It means he's breathing deep into his belly. He's doing deeper breaths. Whereas when you're in your logical linear, you do short breaths, and it's kind of like a panic attack and like that. Okay? Now, I've actually been talking really fast on purpose to get a lot of information in, which is actually a very male way of doing things, all right? So as I go through the videos, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to begin to expand, and I'm going to begin to communicate that way. So let me finish this video. So a lot of women, so first of all, when a woman says she's attracting men visually, she really means his body language, right brain body language. If he's doing left brain body language, because here's what it's like this. It's like literally you get like this, like your pupils will come together, and it's called being very narrow, and you can only see, like my mom used to say, oh, that guy can't even see beyond his nose. That means you're right here. And that's how a lot of guys are, and that is not a turn off. It turns women off, okay? So when they see this, and it makes your tone more nasally and more logical, and you're speaking out your nose, guys, that's a turn off, right? But when you are speaking in a warmer voice, when your body is like, see, the right brain language is more like open. Like, see how my hands open and I'm going like this versus pointing? This is male, this is female. When you are in your right brain, it attracts women to you. Your body gets softer. Again, it goes left brain angular and taut, right brain soft, and then your lips will begin to fill up. Your skin begins to fill up with blood. So you have more like rounder features versus when it gets all angular like that and everything tightens up, okay? So now I'm going to wrap it up with this. Some water. So a lot of women at first are like, oh, no, I think you're wrong. I think you misunderstand. Like, women are very attracted to men visually. I'm just like, oh, really? Sorry about that. It's like, oh, really? They're like, yeah. I go, well, let me ask you a question. Here's the kicker. Watch this. Again, 100% of women are like, oh, yeah, that's true. So I say, what would happen if you were to meet a guy who was the perfect height, the perfect hair color, the perfect haircut, perfect teeth, perfect body, muscular, or whatever? Some women like more, round men or, big beefy men. But let's say you made a list of visually, this is what I'm attracted to. Like, And then you take the guy home to your mother, your aunts, your sisters, your female cousins, and your grandmother, and some of your best friends, your girlfriends from school, and the minute you walk him and introduce him, the minute he opens his mouth, he sounds like an idiot. Every single woman for 30 years, like, oh no, that's a turn off. So I say, so it is about communication. Like, oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, if he doesn't know how to communicate in the right brain language, that is a major turn off. So guys, I am freaking telling you, it's not about looks for a woman. It is about communication. Here's the ultimate reason. Well, Mike, why is it about communication? Because the female mating system is looking to see if you have right brain communication. Why? Because if you're just left brain, you have a very narrow band. But if you can expand, let's say this is the middle, over to the right side, that means now you've got a wide range of communication. So you can communicate to the scientific guys, to the, what's the next one? The, what are they called? You got the scientists, and you got the architects, which are still pretty left brain. And then you got the construction dudes, because they're more physical. And then you got guys that are like construction guys, football players, weightlifters, because they're so into their body. Remember, the right brain is connected to the body. The left brain's connected to the forehead, okay? That's a very simplified way of saying it, but it is. So physical guys tend to unconsciously get along with women better and tend to have longer relationships because on an unconscious level, they have the ability to crossing over to the right side at least some of the time, okay? So So the reason why it's so important to be right brain is because right brain guys can literally see the bigger picture. Who do you think is going to be the general? The guy who's counting the bullets, the details, which is left brain, by the way. It's like you're looking under a microscope. Or the guy who takes all this mass military and puts it into a force onto the field. He has to see how all the components fit together. Left brain people can't do that. They only focus on one thing at a time. So the person that's going to be counting the boots, the shoelaces, the bullets, the weapons, the guns, and all that stuff is going to be a private. That private takes that information, gives it up to his sergeant. His sergeant gets all the information from the privates on how many boots we got, how many bullets, how many this, how many that, and the sergeant gets that, and that's the next level of bigger picture, and then he gives it up to his captain, and this captain takes that and he gives it up to his freaking, up the line, eventually to the general. So the general gets all this information, and he's got to amalgamate, which is a right brain thing, and put it together. So here's the deal. Men that are right brain, they tend to be leaders because they can communicate to a broader range of different people, all the way from scientists to architects to construction dudes to middle to the right brain to very creative and art people, bigger picture people. So the reason why women are attracted to leaders is because most leaders, most of the time, are very right brain people, and they can take the pieces of the puzzle and put it together. That's why women are attracted to men that are right brain, because men that are right brain tend to have more social connections. They tend to be able to connect better with people because they can read what's called spatial awareness. Whereas the left brain, they literally plow into each other, they bang into each other, they push each other out of the way. It's a very rude, crude construction work, because you got a barrel of 200 pounds of something and you're barely balancing. Like, get the hell out of my way. There's no time for politeness. And the right brain is aware. So right brain men tend to flow around people, whereas left brain men tend to bump, oh, excuse me, oh, excuse me, oh, excuse me, oh, excuse me. And that's really obvious to someone who's in the right brain, okay? So long story short, men that are right brain or develop that, they go up the ladder faster, whether you work at the grocery store, whether you're in the military, whether you're in the corporate world. Those are the men that go up the ladder faster. Here's the deal. As a man, you're thinking, well, he's no better than I am. You're right, he's not better than you. In fact, you're probably better at the skill set than he is. But he goes up the ladder because he can work with a group of people and get the group of people to work together. And for any tribe, that's extremely important to be able to speak these different languages and understand these different ways of communicating and processing. When you can do that, her mating system gets triggered. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. I know I'm talking fast. I'll slow it down in the next couple of videos. Click the like button, click subscribe, and make a comment if you learned something. See you in the next video.